What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are here for episode 8 of Madden 22 Pink Slips, and this is the maiden voyage for the Houston Texans organization, as at the end of this episode, after the entirety of the offseason, we're going to take a look at our stats, going to look at who did what this year. We have a certain player returning from injury that we need to wrap and bubble wrap and send down to Florida. We have a free agency period that I don't think we're going to be active whatsoever. We have a draft, and shout out to everyone that has hopped on over to my Patreon page and submitted custom players. We'll look at some of those guys and have some fun with the draft, and then we will start into year 2. In year 2, we're putting the Houston Texans organization to bed, and we are becoming, in the eyes of The Rock, our owner, NFL commissioner, the superior franchise in the NFL, especially with how well year 1 Texans successful, winning players in pink slips, taking YouTube by storm. Everybody is watching Houston Texan pink slip football. He's going to take this 72 overall team, make them the San Antonio Express, and from there it is day 1 for the Super Bowl project. We are going to make this Super Bowl. It's a 5-year plan. I think we can accomplish it. But without further ado, first thing is first, we do have Austin Jackson returning from an injury. And if you don't remember, we won Tevin Jenkins, and we needed to send Austin Jackson to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was just banged up, couldn't send him out. So we are going to do that deal. I'll just flip him for, a random bench guy, release him. But that will be our miscellaneous. We'll take a look at the stats and start this offseason. So I want to take a little quick recap of stats and awards from year 1 of Pink Slips. Because I don't want to be here for so long. I don't want a lot of this video just being looking at all these ridiculous stats. We'll just look here on the right-hand side, right above me, and those will be for just getting a view around the league, and then we'll check more so what we're doing in our own building. Self-scouting ourselves, so we know where we need to get better at more so in this draft. So league passing leaders, Watson, Winston, and Mahomes. Okay. Sean Watson had a big year there. Dalvin Cook is the leading rusher, 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns. He absolutely ate. Justin Jefferson, Paris Campbell, Quez Watkins showing up on the receiving leaders. Happy with that. Myles Garrett led the league with 22 sacks, 20 for Calais Campbell. And for interceptions, there are 9 picks. Chidobe Awuzie leading the league. That's pretty impressive for him. More so, what did we do in the building? What happened within our own building? And obviously, some of these guys, Pink Slips is a series that's not, when you look at the stats, Mac Jones, most of the stats did came when he wasn't on our team, but 3,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 14 picks for the man that could potentially have some form of lineage tied to the legend Tom Savage for how well he's playing for us. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Mac Jones. 900 yards, 10 touchdowns for Najee Harris. He was a backup, so I'm not shocked that he didn't have huge numbers when we acquired him. We had 99 catches, 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns for Quez Watkins, 7 and 8 for Devontae Smith, 4 and 4 for Parham, 3 and 1, a couple. Again, I feel like we had, 2-3 games wiped out? So none of our guys, so we have 3 games less stats that didn't count, because I know Devontae Smith would definitely have more touchdowns and yards. And I think we actually kind of got robbed a little bit on Quez Watkins' stats a little bit here. But that's still a productive year, and I like seeing that for Quez. The fact that he's top 3 might be in line for a natural dev trade. Could be getting up to a star dev just off of his performance, which would be pretty dope. From a sack standpoint, Niang was here the whole time. He gave up 18 sacks. That's not great. Bodine was here the whole season. He gave up 8 sacks. Other than that, it's not bad. Defensively, Deion Jones, 101 tackles. He hasn't been here the whole time, but Jalen Hawkins is, naturally our leading tackler. He was here from day 1, 80 tackles, 2 interceptions for him. On the sacks front here, we have 6.5 sacks, 16 TFLs from Montez Sweat. I feel like he did a lot of that with us. Same with Owe. Owe was not playing a whole lot before we won him, and 33 tackles, 5 TFL, 6 sacks. I think he's going to be truly special. I think, he's still young enough. He's still developing. He got himself a dev trade already. I'm excited. And anytime you can get players like this where they can grow into their own in our series, they have a chance to become channel legends. And I am all in on Jason, the man formerly known as Jason Odafe Owe, absolutely just destroying the season. Chad Thomas, 27 tackles, 10 TFLs, 4 sacks. He was sleeper, low-key sleeper. He was really productive for us. On the interception standpoint, 3 picks, AJ Moore, 2 for Quincy Williams, 2 Greg Newsome, 2 Jalen Hawkins. I think Newsome actually got all those picks for us too as well. He had a hell of a season. For kicking, Vidvik, outstanding, 14 of 15. 100% on the extra points. One of the better, more reliable kickers in the league. And then Johnny Townsend is 20 gongs. Let's go. One of the best gong show guys in the NFL. Quick look here at the yearly awards, and then we will look at the Pro Bowl yearly awards. Dalvin Cook is the MVP for the New York Giants. He was outstanding. I don't think we're really going to see a whole lot of Houston Texans here, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But let's see if we have anyone that has earned the right to be regarded as one of the top players. Well, look at that. Mac Jones is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Najee Harris, 2nd place. Devontae Smith, 4th place. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Kwity Paye. I'm proud of that. Shed like a small tear trickling down. Kwity Paye, he did almost all that with us. So that feels like a win for us as well. But we also had to make the better decision for the long term of this team and getting Montez Sweat in that deal. But that is what it is. Newsome at number 7, Oweh at 8, Asante Samuel at 9. Just reiterates how good and young this core of building blocks for this franchise is going to be as we become the San Antonio Express. Mac Jones number 9 for QB. For wide receiver, Quez Watkins, runner-up for wide receiver of the year. I like seeing Paris Campbell, another redemption story within this series. O-line, I don't think we'll have anybody there. Defensive line, and nothing for the Texans. Linebacker, any Houston Texans? Nope. DB, the Houston Texans? Nope. The disrespect kicker, Vedvik, top kicker, baby. I don't know if kickers get dev traits, but that'd be pretty cool if he does. I've actually never gone through this menu to look at the Pro Bowl. It's the exact same. Anyone from our team make the Pro Bowl? Let's take a look. Tim Tebow is fullback 1. Yes, sir. Quez Watkins, wide receiver 1. Makes me feel good about that because I am forcing it to a certain degree, but I really do want Quez Watkins to become an X factor and just absolutely light the league on fire. Because hopefully he does that for my Philadelphia Eagles in real life. Look at the rest of it here, though. Not great. Vidovic didn't even get kicker of the year, but didn't even make the Pro Bowl, which is not ideal. A couple guys make the Pro Bowl, man. For how cupcake our squad was until Mac Jones took over under center, I'm pretty damn happy with that year. So we'll sim right to the end, figure out who wins the Super Bowl here between the Bears and the Chiefs, see if we have any dev trade increases, and then we'll get into free agency. So for our squad here, nothing for Mac Jones, no devs for Tim Tebow, fullback of the Pro Bowl, but we did get a dev trade for Quez Watkins on the offensive side of the ball, and easily, rightfully deserved. Man, felt like every game in the sim that was counting, he was getting 7-8 catches minimum, 100 yards, slowly starting to develop into an absolute playmaker for us on the outside. So I like seeing that for Quez. An organic dev trait feels good. On the defensive side, don't think we achieved any dev traits. Would have been nice to have one. I mean, looking at this, AJ Moore, 3 picks, he could have got it. I think probably it, though, in terms of guys that earn dev traits. Do we have anything on? Did Vedvik get anything? No. Because, I mean, of course, why would kickers and linemen, special teamers and linemen don't get dev traits for some reason? Would love to see the person that made that decision for Madden franchise. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to pause the video because I have to go now. If I can scout and edit players, edit the entire Patreons. Again, if you missed out, check it out. Supported by Patreon. It's a great way to go above and beyond support the channel. I have a lot of stuff that gets posted throughout the year. Podcasts, talk about the Eagles, draft stuff, college prospects, college primers, but also I allowed a bunch of people that if you support my Patreon, you can get a custom player in this draft. And obviously now, if you're seeing this and you want to be a part of that, it'll be applied for the next draft. We'll do it every single year that we're doing pink slips. You'll have that opportunity to get a custom player in. Some of these are very stupid. A lot of people didn't tell me if they're a white guy or a black guy, so I'll have to just make an assumption. But I think that could be funnier, right? That could be funnier. What if you're let me just give me an example right now. We got a guy named Fred Filthy, right? Fred Filthy, let's just make him the biggest piece of white trash that ever existed. So before we get into the draft, because we're not going to be spending much money in free agency, this is where our players are going to come from. And let's meet some of the top players in this draft class and also showcase some of the Patreon players. So we're going to start at the quarterback spot. We have Brenton Dubridge, who's currently ranked the top quarterback in the class. John Munson out of Syracuse, second-rated quarterback, not getting a favorable grade. Jace Mack from Baylor looks really talented. Ronan Rose from Auburn and Colin Lockhart from Texas round out the first-round quarterbacks. But again, with our team, for Mac Jones, I don't necessarily think we are going to be really in the market for a quarterback. No real studs or anything like that in terms of value. So I think we'll probably just be fine at that QB spot. Running backs, Maybe a familiar name for those of you out there. P.L. Mullins, late first round grade. If you know anything about P.L. Mullins, you know that's not a great grade for him. That's probably sleeping on him just a little bit. We have Lawrence Phillips here from Alabama, who looks really good first round talent. Andrew Combs from Miami, first round talent. And J.T. Money out of Northern Illinois, getting another first round talent. And the final first round running back out of SMU, Tyler Tendy. I think that guy got a business, you know, and I think that guy right now, if he doesn't make it in the NFL, even though he's a first rounder, should make it, could open up like a Raising Cane's chain, become like a, you know, in the restaurant business. At fullback, Rummy DeQuain out of Shippensburg. I think that's where John Runyon came out. So this guy looks like an absolute beast if we aren't going to be in the market for a fullback. At wide receiver, John Thacker II is a first rounder, and Zach Reynolds. Not either one of those guys getting favorable grades, but they are the top 2 wide receivers, and I'm sure someone will draft them within the round 1 or 2 or somewhere in that range, so they both look pretty decent. At tight end, we have Bo Jackson from the Air Force. Not too often you see, you know, military academies, or well, I think that's what they call the academies, getting a first round grade player, but Bo Jackson getting one. We have Adam James from Notre Dame, another first-round caliber player, at least projected to go in that range. And Evan Osland, the tight end out of Pittsburgh, third rounder with third-round grade. Could be some good value. In terms of players not in the Patreon, we actually have a nice stud here in the 4th round. James Castillo, who looks pretty good. And you know, we could maybe, you know, splash at tight end. Who knows? That is a position that I am intrigued at potentially drafting a player. Left tackle, Juan Rotation is the #1 player in the draft. Early first rounder, franchise tackle. Really good, man. These guys do not grow on trees, especially for the most part. Madden generate draft classes. He looks pretty good. We have Owen Carney at left tackle out of Miami as well as our 2 first rounders. On the offensive line, continue. We have Fred Filthy, guard from Tennessee, looking like a bust, unfortunately. But he is there. He's currently at least projected to be the first guard selected in the draft. In the center department, we have Mike Madden from Oklahoma and Marcus Tolliver from Ohio State. Both these guys look favorable, better than their projections, so a team could be getting a steal on the interior of that offensive line. No real other scouting on the offensive line because, you know, for us, we have a lot of those guys, young star devs. Doesn't really make sense for us to go and target that offensive line position, at least early on. Flipping to the defensive side, there's some pretty good defensive ends here. A couple guys here at the first round grades that look pretty good. Not necessarily scheme fits. Griffin and Dupree are clearly 3-4 defensive ends, but, you know, maybe. Who knows? You know, we got a top 10 pick. We got to invest that wisely. Sandridge here. Another guy, he actually looks off the charts. Early first rounder. He might be my top guy. In terms of, like, where's he at in the big board? Yeah, he's down there. He's probably my top player. I just feel like adding more depth there, because right now we have Owe, who fits in well at defensive end. We actually don't have a partner in crime next to Montez Sweat, so I'm very intrigued here with Sandridge out of Georgia. Vashawn King out of Hawaii, 6'6", 320, gigantic human being. I think he has early first round, mid first round grade. He looks pretty nasty. I mean, it's Madden though. Every single D tackle, every single draft, there's D tackles that are just waiting to become franchise players for you. So, like, I mean, that could throw on the board. That's another position that we are looking at potentially improving. Linebacker core, Jared Abernathy out of Iowa, the speed rusher. He is currently the only guy projected to go in the first round here. We have 2 value picks, Traylor and Baker, but Jared Abernathy is the only first round grade. Anthony Kruger and Rudolph Schmidt. Kruger out of Northwestern, Schmidt out of Virginia Tech. Our 2 first round middle linebackers that both carry a first round grade. They both look pretty good too. Mid first round for Kruger. Schmidt is carrying an early first round grade. I don't really think we're going to be in the market though for a middle linebacker, as we do have Deion Jones. Right outside linebacker, Devin Blake from Georgia, first rounder with a power rush grade. And we have Stephen Hill from Southern Miss, 6'5", 255, elite length for a power rusher. If that is your scheme, but those guys there are more suited to a 3-4 defense. Unless, I mean, we could potentially look at them and bring them into that 1 defensive end spot outside of Montez Sweat. But both those guys look very promising for rookies. Going into the secondary, we have L.D. Mullins. Is he related? Could he be related? Maybe he's related. Out of Florida State, mid-first rounder. I'm a little bit intrigued. We have Ben Newman trying to live on the life of White Lightning out of Navy, getting a first round grade for a second round corner. And the last one I want to highlight is Pay to Man Florida State, him and LD Mullins absolutely locking guys down. Man took over for Asante Samuel Jr., who's on our squad in the slot position there, and got himself a second round grade projection. Look at this guy down here, though. Zimmerman, third rounder with the first round. Could be interesting if he's around. I like the skills. Play rack zone, man, looks pretty good. Finishing out in the secondary, we have Andrew Lopez, the only first round graded safety out of Navy. Got a zone. He is a scheme fit. We'll throw him that. He is a scheme fit. Nick Taylor right behind him got a little bit better grade, but he still got the first round projection, and that's all that really matters, at least from a Madden sim. Someone will take him early. Strong safety. Got some guys here. We have Thomas Andrews out of Purdue, first rounder with a first round grade. The Rich Money Man out of Washington. I mean, Washington pretty much just churns out NFL caliber defensive backs. He's a first round projection, second round grade. And last but not least, we have Charlie Caruso out of LSU, second rounder, but getting a first round talent. So those first three guys are all going to be very nice playmakers early on in their NFL careers. And into the special teams, we have Ben Dover, great, not stated name by any means. He actually looks outstanding for a kicker. Getting a second round grade out of 5'8". Usually I like to go with the tallest kicker when I'm drafting, but we actually scouted him here. A kick power, A minus kick accuracy. Not too bad, even though we do have kicker of the year in the AFC. And then finishing up at punter out of Mars Hill, we have A Ash A12. Mars Hill makes sense. Connect the dots, if you will. But ultimately, fellas, that is the draft board here. A lot of players for everyone that was supporting the Patreon. I either gave you... I was thinking originally make everyone a first rounder that supported the Patreon, but there just wasn't enough first rounders to go around. And then I don't really want to get into the nature and the business of modifying players. I wanted to be surprised. Some of these guys I have seen their ratings. I have not seen anyone's dev trait, which is ultimately kind of... the end goal, because I already had them scouted. So for example, look, this guy, Devin Blake, was a Patreon, but I already edited a player that we had scouted, and he was a first round talent. So I probably would have drafted him anyways. I did not finesse anybody's stats, but I made sure everyone that supported the Patreon was at least a 68 overall, so that, if you don't get picked by us, you will have a chance of sticking around on a roster and developing in this series as we go along. But I very much appreciate, I checked my email, there was like 70 notifications for new people jumping on Patreon, people replying there. So if you missed out on this one, you're interested for next year, we'll be doing the exact same thing. Pretty much anyone that is still active subscriber on my Patreon, before we get ready for the draft, I'll shoot you guys a little message, give me some more names, and we can do this every single year. And I appreciate it. I thought there was going to be a lot more trolley names than what there was, and it's not too shabby. So that is our draft class. Now it's time to hop into free agency and then get into this draft. The Super Bowl, first Super Bowl of the pink season, goes, not really surprisingly, to the Kansas City Chiefs. Deshaun Watson and the Chiefs get their job done and get another Super Bowl title for that franchise, a spot and a position that we hope the Express are in sooner than later. I want to have a little bit of fun here with the staff management. People are saying, early in the year, that with one of the first patches that will be coming into franchise mode will be to customize your staff. We'll be able to have some fun with that. But I think for right now, David Culley. I do not want David Culley to be the face of this team going forward. And we have Ed Green. I'm looking at what players, our Albert Torres on the defensive side. He's a 3-4 guy. I don't want to play 3-4. Then Ed Green, he only has 2 talent trees purchased. I'm not really worried about it. So we're completely clean in shop. The Rock, as head of player personnel, is the only guy that's remaining intact. Now let's finish out and fill out our coaching tree. So for a head coach, they're not giving me any OC positions, so I assume maybe some will open up. But honestly, if we're doing a head coach, I think Riverboat Ron would be a hell of a guy. You've seen the work he's doing in Washington. It's pretty much the same kind of rebrand that we're doing here. So I absolutely am all, the command failed. I want to hire him. Let me hire him. I want to shake your hand. I want to, come on, man. Okay, what do we got here? I got some OCs here. We got Barnes. They're all just random guys. What's going on here? So I can't hire a head coach yet. What about for an OC? Is anyone retired? Lamont Booker. Looking at the offense here, we're going to want West Coast, probably, is the area that I think we want. So we got Sam Coleman. He has 57-point hiring bonus. 33 for Duncan, vertical zone. I could intrigue to that. West Coast, 27 for Lamont Booker. I think I'm liking this guy right here, man. I think Sam Coleman looks like the right guy to the job. So we have our brand new offensive coordinator. Got some points to spend. What about for the defensive coordinator? What's going on over here? We got Rios. So we definitely want a 4-3 defense scheme. So there's not a lot. I'm getting a lot of 4-3, 3-4 storm, that's a pretty good scheme. But we got Todd Hughes here. 4-3 Philadelphia Eagles defensive playbook. Think that's probably going to be a guy. But then you got Sammy Rios, West Coast 4-3 quarters. Shanahan got the Sean McDermott. So that's Jim Johnson. You get 66 points. That could be the tiebreaker. Who's giving me the most? Todd Hughes only giving me 63. And we're getting 66 with Sammy Rios. I think Sammy Rios seems like a guy The Rock would fall in love with. We're going to hire him here as our defensive coordinator. And then for the head coach, why? Let me hire Ron. I'm not hiring Mike McCarthy. So it's going to be we're at the end here. I'm going to see, it's going to be, who's going to be the hammer, who's going to be the nail? Me and my decision making, or is Madden just going to automatically hire a head coach for me? Let's see how this unveils throughout the offseason. At least it's making sense, not Madden bugging out. Ron Rivera's actually already got hired by Dallas, and Mike McCarthy got hired by the Detroit Lions. Does that mean Dan Campbell's available? Oh, he went to Baltimore. I should have been more proactive. If you told me I could have had Dan Campbell as my head coach, that probably would have, obviously from a defensive scheme wouldn't work. But there's right now no head coaches I can hire. I don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to just have to accept David Culley needs to come back? We have some head coach prospects here. Culley's there. Absolutely not. Some interesting options. Now it's pretty much going to come down to scheme fit. We want a vertical offense, West Coast offense, and a 4-3 defense. So that eliminates Peters. Kind of eliminates Starks here a little bit. We have Emmanuel. We'll call him Manny Ortega, whose Eagles playbooks on either side of the ball, 63-point hiring bonus. Don't like that. He's currently the leader. Oh, look at this guy, Earl Zoe. His name's Earl Zoe. That's a great name. Earl Zoe Green, West Coast offense, 4-3 defense, John Gruden playbooks. I'm absolutely not getting called. I just think, the writing's on the wall here. We can go Eagles. We're going to go Eagles. So I would like to congratulate Manny Ortega for becoming the new head coach of the San Antonio Express. So I want to spend some points here. This is always, I guess, like a tip for like when I do my rebuilds and when I can kind of build out, my trees. How do I want to spend? How do I want to maximize 192 stat points? I think that the biggest thing for me is we're actually, let's go offensive side of the ball. Is getting down to the very bottom here and making it so everyone on your team is a scheme fit. This is always my biggest priority because it's just so much more extra XP, free XP to help the development of your team throughout the regular season. So we got the final piece. That is always the top priority. Not too worried about any of those ones. I mean, for at least what we're trying to accomplish here in pink, so it's probably actually worth doubling up and getting 2 out of 2 on everything in player growth. For staff mods, again, not overly worried about that just quite yet. You look at offensive coordinators, though, we don't have any X factors yet. But when we do have X factors, we'll be able to spend those points there. I suppose boosting the injury ratings can always help a little bit. Player personnel, don't need to worry about trades. We force the trades here, right? So that's that whole entire tree right there for the player personnel. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us. Same goes, really, player personnel. It doesn't really matter. Like that one, that's Unlocker's a great one to have, but we don't have salary cap on. So really, we should just focus on head coach, offense coordinator, defensive coordinator. So I'm just thinking at this point, honestly, the best points for us would be, let's get the injury. You don't want significant injuries on either side of the ball because we do have injuries turned on. So let's get a big +4 boost on both offensive and defensive sides of the ball. And then I think probably start spending points here. We want to boost tight ends, quarterbacks. This way here we can help the quarterback carry. Not too worried about Mac Jones right now and his carry rating, if I'm being completely honest for you. So I think we'll go the other side of the tree here. We'll start catching traffic for wide receivers. We'll get carrying for fullbacks and running backs. And we will boost the stamina for our wide receivers and tight ends by 3. We can still spend points here. I can't actually afford fancy footwork. So there we go. We've spent all of our staff points. Our new coaching staff is here. And until I can edit their names, those are the guys that we got. We're going to ride with them. All right, so for free agency, we just had a little bit of fun with it. I didn't want to get anything too overpowered. Like, there's certain guys that, I really want. Like, there's Goggles. Blankenship's there as a kick. Like, there's certain positions I was like, I got to do this. But there's also, like, you don't really want to be improving. There's no way that I'm improving my squad in free agency. So I do have some contracts I've thrown out. And for the most part, they're guys that are 100% buried in our depth chart for the most part. So we got Steven Means. I just liked him and used with Philly. Kind of sucks now. I think he went to Atlanta. But I just want him for a depth guy. We got Donovan Steiner at free safety. Be free safety 3, but big fan of him at Florida. Will Compton, busting with the boys. Why not? Same thing goes for Vontaze Burfict. Not going to play. Just a depth guy at middle linebacker. Why not? Vontaze Burfict has been a part of pink slips almost every year. So at 66, it's not hurting anybody. Same with Kiko Alonso. Probably the worst Philadelphia Eagles jersey I've ever bought. So I figured let's throw him in there. Jalen Twyman, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I thought he was going to be a first rounder. I'm like, this guy's can't miss. I feel like, why not throw him an opportunity, throw him a bone? He probably is the only guy that I'm signing here that might see the field. Might. And that's just, hey, if you know on Twitter, you know why. If I was doing a live stream, you're like, C4, come on, throw Jalen Twyman a bone. Foles and at White Lightning, 2 guys that we had on our team, but then we upgraded and they left. But now they're back on the open market. So I feel like Nick Foles, excellent backup quarterback to come in and mentor Mac Jones, and Jason Eason. He's a 66. He's not stiff in the field. And then White Lightning's a legend. He is as pink slip of a legend. Like, it's like if Tom Savage was there. There's no way I'm not signing him. And Apke's probably going to be corner 4 right now on our squad. Maybe challenge for corner 3. Could find his way on the field. But clearly, Newsome and Samuel Jr. are our corners of the future. So these are our very limited and I think fun free agency signings. But I'm not signing any starters or anything like that. Because I feel like that kind of ruins the integrity of pink slips. Hopefully we can land all these guys. I'm not seeing any other bids on them. Actually, there is one? For Nick Foles. How dare you, Detroit? Hopefully we get all of them and then we go into the draft. It is time for the draft. I got the protective eyewear on so I don't burn my freaking eyeballs out of my head. Let's go into it. Let's improve the team. And let's get ready to dominate next season. All right, so as we are here for our first pick at pick 9, there are 3 positions I kind of wanted to target it in this draft. One was tight end, and we have our value tight end here, James Castillo. We call him Yamis. It's Yamis. It's like Rodriguez from Colombia, the soccer player. James Castillo from UCLA in the 4th round. I would love that. I want defensive tackle, which we have Streets here at D tackle, early 1st rounder. We have Vashon King, Tyrone Hunt, Kevin Bell in the 2nd round, which is good. Rice. There's just so much value at D tackle here. Finding it a little tough to draft one with our premier pick. Couple good linebackers there, some corners, some guys in the secondary. Like safety's another spot that we could totally look at. We got Lopez, Nick Taylor, got a late 1st round grade. So we don't. When you got value like that, Caruso here from LSU, mid 1st rounder, you want to make sure you really hit home with your can't miss players. And we got LD Mullins. I'm not going to draft the Patreon players, but because I kind of know what's up. And we have this guy here, especially at corner, Javon Zimmerman, 7.5 combine grade, 3rd rounder. I'm thinking that our pick, it should just be the best player available. He's not a Patreon player. Early 1st round edge rusher. Plug and play right away. Play on the other side of Montez Sweat. I'm going to grab him. Sean Sandridge out of Georgia, 78, hidden dev. Our first look at the jerseys there for the San Antonio Express. Looking good. Come on, I had to. I don't know the depth trait. I forgot the rating. If you told me right now, gun to my head. I don't want to throw my child's life. But when I was modifying the Patreon players, I made sure they were a 68. I was trying to go as quickly as possible because at the end of the day, you watch my rebuilds. I can draft. I can find the best players. And if I want to be surprised, I want to draft a bust. I want to do it as authentically as I possibly can because at the end of the day, I'm only cheating myself. I'm not getting any extra points, for an example, of drafting this guy, the number 2. No one's like, holy, C4 locked out number. I get the number 2 guy, 1 in 3 drafts. So I'm gonna, again, when I do things like the Patreon names and all that little stuff, I'm gonna try my best to keep the draft as authentic as I possibly can because I love this gives me an adrenaline rush slightly because this is my job and this is me doing well at my job. So getting the number 2 player here, Sean Sandridge. He was early 1st round defensive end. What kind of were we expecting? He looks sick. 88 power move, 85 speed, 85 acceleration, 82 strength, 82 tackle, 82 agility. Pursuit, hit power, all on point. Welcome to Pink Slips, Sean Sandridge. All right, now this is where it comes a little bit of a tough call. 2 players, Javon Zimmerman, 7.5 combine, mid-first round, top skills look good. It's everything that I like in a corner. And he would most likely compete with White Lightning Troy Apke for corner. But then the argument can be made, we have White Lightning in Troy Apke at corner. Do we need that third corner? Or should I prioritize getting that third corner over James Castillo, who's a 4th rounder, but he got still to be available there early in the 3rd round? I don't know. I think we just, because it's Pink Slips, we don't necessarily need to cheese the draft and dominate. I'm going to try to get one of each. I'm going to try to get Zimmerman here. Is he actually the top corner, though? Is this guy better? Burgess is mid-first. Zimmerman is mid. Okay, they're both. I'm going to grab Zimmerman here, and hopefully we can grab that tight end here in the 3rd round. But Zimmerman, 75, normal dev, number 11 in true value, getting him at 41. 6'2", 95 acceleration, 93 speed, 91 agility. So he's pretty much a dominant athlete. That's still, technically sound. That tackling is atrocious. So might have, how's he a slot? You need a tackle if you're playing in the slot. But welcome to Pink Slips. Yes, James is still there. James Castillo, 4th round tight end, UCLA, out of Columbia. A- catching, 73, hidden dev, number 28 in true value. Let's go. 83 speed, 82 catching, 86 acceleration, 75 awareness. He's very aware of his surroundings. 79 catching traffic, 74 short route running, 73 spec catch, can't block worth of shit, but really nice tight end. Instantly comes in as tight end 1 for the San Antonio Express next season. 4th round, don't have much guy. I feel like let's get a little bit more depth here on the offensive line. So I'm going to look at LaMarcus Parson, center for Michigan, late 1st round. It's just solid pick. Actually, I said I reached. Massive reach by 4 spots. 67, normal dev center, just giving us a slight upgrade there for our depth. So some guys here from our draft board. Why not? We'll go with the scheme pit first. Justin Scott, mid-3rd round free safety, 69, nice. And he's 79 in true value. Normal dev, 6'3", 92 acceleration, 76 zone, 77 pursuit, 80 hit power. Should be a nice special teamer. And our final pick of the draft, 6th round, pick 9. I'm just going with my last guy that I had scouted. 6'3", I can move him anywhere on the offensive line for depth. Lang, out of Wisconsin, 65 normal dev. Not a bad first draft here for the Rock. Found some good players. Overall, for our squad, good draft. All these guys, I think, are going to be, for the most part. Scott actually could even start at free safety, but I liked AJ Moore last year. Got a bunch of picks for us. Probably still would be the starter. And Scott could be a nice backup. That's already a 69 overall rating, so we could look at potentially upgrading him sooner than later in the series. But in terms of picks, we got the 3 guys that I think I wanted all along, pre-Patreon, anything like that. We got Sandridge, 78. He hates being here. Simply hates the idea of playing in San Antonio, but he's a 78 hidden dev. We have Zimmerman, normal dev. He hates being here as well. Very unhappy draft class, normal. And Castillo, James Castillo with a hit. It's only 2 hidden devs, which is, honestly, so far, not to dap myself up too much. Only 2. I had 6 picks here and only getting 2 hidden devs. That's about average. Wasn't an S tier draft by any means, but I'm excited to get into the regular season. So because we're so invested to all our players, these are the guys I can't just throw in the practice squad. Gonna have to make some tough cuts. So first we have a project player in Quentin Bell. Gonna have to go. Now we have the serial killer. Patrick Morris, just can't have ya. Steven Means, just a waste of a free agency signing. We have Denmark, just way too far down there on the depth chart. Plus, you got to kind of think of it from a Pink Slip standpoint. Not really going to be, upgrading a 62 overall. Still like the project of Chris Westry. I don't necessarily want to get rid of that yet. I think Kiko Alonso, ultimately now how the draft went, don't really need him. I think Deion Bush could be another player. 3rd free safety, not overly concerned that we need to bring him back. I think Perfect, he's surplus requirement at this point. Maybe he's too memey to have on the roster, so we're down to 6. I don't know if there's just better, bust with the boys, whatever, man. I can't remember last time I listened to that friggin' thing. We'll throw Tyree Cleveland on the practice squad. EJ Speed, we take Donovan Steiner, throw him on the practice squad. I'm not going to throw Eason. A little worried that Eason could get poached if we decide to go that direction. White here, right outside linebacker. Interesting skill set. That's perfect for a practice squad type guy that's still trying to develop, still trying to grow. We'll throw Thomas Oliver there. Because I did sign Twyman and he's a starter, and I feel like it is still, at the end of the day, a little cheesy to sign a starter free. I'll throw him on the practice squad, and if it's meant to be for Twyman to be a part of the series, he will survive the practice squad and be able to get re-signed next offseason as a starter. Or depth guy. At least stay here in San Antonio. So we have the Battle of Texas to open up the season. But the thing that's most important, how we're going to end this episode, with the overall. Every time with Pink Slip, this is always the painful episode. Once you break a 75 threshold, when you lose games, you lose players. And, I mean, when it comes to this, the talking point has always been, do we lose players when we sim, right? That's always been like, is that kind of fair? Because the sim is already ridiculous. Should we be losing players when we sim? And the rule that we've done in previous years, and this is a very important, this is easily out of this entire episode, the number one thing I need comments for, is what we've done in previous years is that when you lose or win in the sim, and we haven't applied it yet because now it's free reign, we're 75 overall. When you win or lose in the sim, once you're 75 overall, you half whatever happens. So if we win a game in the sim, whatever, if we have a 4-star win in the sim, we just get to apply a 2-star because it wasn't an earned victory. If we lose in the sim, a 4-star defeat, then we have it. So it's only a 2-star defeat. So that way there, we get the maximum reward and or maximum punishment when we fully deserve it, when we're on the sticks and win or lose a game. And then when it's out of our hands, when it's through a sim or play the moments, it's not as severe, but you still get the reward or punishment depending on the performance of the game. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. That's what we've done before. That's what we're gonna go with, unless someone comes up with an objection and a better alternative. That is what we're gonna be rocking and rolling with. And the finishing touch of this episode is our team captain, because now more than ever, our team captains need to be our best players to a certain degree, right? These are guys that are untouchable. They cannot be stolen away from us. And you'll see right off the bat, our number one highest overall player, Deion Jones, does not have a captaincy. Here are my team captains, and here's my logic. So first, we have Mac Jones. I think the chance, on the off chance, not even off chance, we got to give him better odds than that he could become a legend. I think he's worth a captaincy spot right now. It's a valuable spot. He goes down. I mean, we do have QBs available. And again, this could be something you guys could, if I don't have a guy team captain that you guys think should be a team captain, or vice versa, I have a team captain and you need think another guy's a better option, let me know. But I think Mac Jones first as a team captain makes sense. Second is Najee Harris, superstar dev, young playmaker, really good. Already got the pink special juice. His speed he's an on point, juiced up Najee Harris. I think that's an obvious one. Sam goes with Devontae Smith on the offensive side of the ball. Star dev, I mean, maybe it's not obvious. I just feel like he should be a team captain. So I decided to go with him. That is it for the offense. And we flip to the defensive side. I mean, yay. I'm not gonna make an offensive lineman team captain, but Nate Davis, one of the highest overall players we have. Defensive side, Montez Sweat is a team captain. 84, was utterly dominant, unstoppable when we were using him, so that is very important for me. I think Sandridge, I gave him it because I don't know the dev trait. If it's 78 star, it's going to bite us in the ass. This is the risk versus reward decision that we have to make with the team captain, because he's 78 superstar X factor, and we lose him because we're protecting Deion Jones, who, let's be honest, did Deion Jones make any plays in any of the games that I played? I don't really recall any. So it's like, I don't know the dev. And I always kind of wish I took a little bit of a sneak peek, but again, I don't want to cheat myself out of this series. I want to be along for the ride with you guys. So I went with the decision that we don't know what that dev trait is. It's probably a star, but if it's not, what if it isn't? I figured give him a team captain. That's at least until that dev trait's unveiled, and if at that time we still have a Deion Jones on the roster, or any of the other guys. Sante Samuel doesn't have one. Spoiler. We could shift it off, but at least have him hold the captaincy spot until we figure out that dev trait. That was my line of thinking there. Owe was so good. I would love to give him. There's not enough captain spots goes around. Obviously, Deion Jones, highest rated player, but I don't really remember making many plays for us. So he could potentially be up for grabs. I gave it to Greg Newsome, super dev corner. Don't want to lose that ever. They don't grow on trees. Very hard to get superstar corners, especially when they're only 22. But no protection there for Sante Samuel, 76 star def. So I think right around that list of alternates. But I think, push on the shove, what am I going to do? I think it's worth waiting to see the depth chart in the defensive end, and then it's like, all right, Asante Samuel or Devontae Smith. Yeah, a little bit more impactful, I think, Devontae Smith is for the success of this team. And obviously at safety, not a whole lot there. And actually, Scott is a starting safety from an overall standpoint, but we're going with AJ Moore. A little bit faster, a little bit more pink slippy, and he's just more veteran present. He knows the playbook. He knows, well, actually, he doesn't know the playbook because we have a brand new coach. But whatever, I'm going with the old guy. No, protection or anything like that on the special teamers or practice squad. No one's got stolen just yet, which is pretty dope. But let me know what you guys think about our team captains. You think I did the right call? Do you think there should be a change made? Let me know in the comment section below. But ultimately, the most important thing, how are we going to handle, now that we can win and lose players, does the halving that we've used before still make sense to be applied today? Let me know in the comment section below. But that'll do it here for the offseason. Thank you very much. I'm almost thinking tomorrow. Tomorrow's my B-day. I'm probably going to record it tonight. I will have episode 9 of Pink Slips getting into the season here. We have Dallas, Detroit, and Baltimore on the slate. And we'll just jump right into it, man. Have an absolute blast with this series. Thank you very much for continuing to click on the videos, subscribe, comment, share it. Everything that needs to be done to help me on the YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and peace out.